Oh, how to build a pub.
Shalom, and welcome to the Build a Pub podcast with me, Alex Ravenhall, the only person in my childhood football team to never receive a red or a yellow card, as it's quite hard to get booked when you're sitting on the bench. The Build a Pub podcast is a spin-off of my original series, Social Isolation. I invite guests onto the podcast to, as the name suggests, build their own pubs, from what they have on draft to what food they serve and what music they have playing, and hopefully share with me some anecdotes and thoughts on the institution that is the public house. I'm going to be releasing these podcasts bi-weekly every Wednesday and Sunday for the foreseeable future. If you can't wait that long, you can also find all 11 episodes of Social Isolation on this very channel. Special thanks also to Sam Nason for the graphics and Jack Pethram for the jingle. Today I'm joined once again by Peter Brennan, who's going to create a pub so fabulous that I will have to change my whole identity just to be let in. The main reason it's so fabulous, because it has a sign outside the door saying, "Talk about pubs all you want, but if you glorify alcohol, you're barred." The same rules apply here. So grab that packet of Smarties from the back of the cupboard you'd completely forgotten were there, make sure the dogs aren't up to any mischief, drink responsibly, and enjoy.
Oh, how to build a pub.
And we're on. I'm going to start by introducing my guest today. He has appeared on my podcast before where we talked about our lives through the music that shaped us. It was a lot of fun. On that podcast, he also confessed to me that his dream job was to be a TikTok star. Now, I'm not saying that these podcasts make dreams come true, but since then, he has been on quite the meteoric rise. And whilst it's highly likely to be caused by his wit, humour and perfection of the medium, my combined viewership of 20 listeners must have helped a little bit. I'm delighted to welcome onto the podcast verified TikTok legend, Peter Brennan. I've got two things to say, Peter. Firstly, hello, how are you? And secondly, how are you coping with the fame?
Hey bitches, I'm back. I am good. I hope you're well too, Alex.
No, thank you very much.
I'm honestly coping amazingly. I'm coping like a rock star. I really have it under control. I'm not verified yet, but I'm just waiting on that blue tick.
Yeah, you're going to get there. Go on, because we're on the subject, I know how much you hate talking about it. How many views did you get on that, on your biggest video?
So, basically, it's really embarrassing. I have ruined any chance of me having a job in the future because I post stupid videos of myself online of me pointing dance worms, and a lot of people have seen it, but I'm not going to give you a number because it's really embarrassing.
Literally an absolute.
Search me up if you want.
At your own risk.
Actually, just don't. Just don't do that.
You know you've made it, Peter, when my sister's on TikTok and she sees your face all the way in sunny Middlesbrough. That shows. Once you make Middlesbrough, that's like the level of you're kind of doing okay, and then once you hit the Middlesbrough market, you've gone global. It's how it works.
Middlesbrough is basically the Hollywood of the UK, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really have made it.
Do you know what's kind of funny? We do have the cheapest heroin in the UK, so that kind of works because there's a lot of smackheads in Hollywood. It was an article because basically whenever Middlesbrough appears on anything, we get really, really excited. So there are two times we made the Daily Mail of all newspapers. The first time was when a woman sued Morrison's because they didn't make pasties before 10 a.m. in the morning.
Why would you sue?
I mean, because she had nothing else to do. She was really annoyed because she wanted a breakfast pasty and they weren't open. And so, and there's a picture of her outside the Morrisons looking really cross, and her husband's just stood next to her like, what the hell is going on?
To be fair, people get very passionate about pasties.
They do.
Probably, especially in Middlesbrough.
Yeah, we don't have a lot going for us, but we do love a pasty. And then the other time was when it was just this article that was it was like one of those BuzzFeed where find out the heroin capital of the UK. And oh Christ, I'll turn that off. Jeez, how rude of me. I'm so bloody popular. Not quite a TikTok legend like yourself, but I'll get there.
I'm a professional. Maybe the professional heroes.
Yeah, and it was like a BuzzFeed, what are the heroin facts you need to know? And it was the cheapest heroin you can get is in the UK. You can get I don't know, a pound of smack. Is that the correct term? For
would not know.
Come on, Peter. But yeah, so that's our two claims to fame. Also, we once beat Manchester City 8-1 in the football, and that always comes up every year on its anniversary, which is always nice for us. We got something going.
Yeah, they won one match.
Yeah, it's been a while since then, but we're getting there. Let's talk about pubs, because that is the actual reason we're here. Not TikTok, not Middlesbrough. Although Middlesbrough do have TikTok and pubs, so it kind of works quite nicely.
Not going for it.
Peter Brennan, what is the pub to you? And what I mean by that is, what type of vibe does the pub give to you? Like, when you go to a pub, what do you feel? For me, it's like homeliness. I feel quite relaxed and comfortable. Not that I find the pub as my home, because that's a dangerous road to go down. But it's quite homely.
Alcohol, Alex.
Don't you dare glorify alcohol, Peter. You're on a fine line here.
Right. Sorry. What pub means to me?
Yeah.
Well, not to sound wanky, but I think it's important who is there.
Yeah, 100%.
I've just made up a phrase. The people make the pub. There you fucking go.
I'm writing that down.
You write that down, mate. I think it's like, when there's a large group of friends, I think it's like the perfect like place to like get together and socialise.
Yeah.
So I associate it very much with like my friends and like having a good time, basically. Although it is dependent how busy it is as well.
Yeah, true. A too busy
Like,
pub is a bit
I get
annoying.
what you mean about like homeliness, like when it's like not too busy and you can all get a seat and you're chatting and you're having a drink and having fun. Like, it definitely feels like that.
Yeah.
But then if that shit's busy, I'm just like, get me out of here.
Yeah,
So
I
my
agree with
pub, not going to be busy.
No. Yeah, because
There's so much space.
when I think of a pub, I think of like, not even one at uni, kind of one at home, just because like it's a bit slower.
Okay.
But maybe not on Christmas because it's a bit busy then, but like in the summer, beer gardens, that type of vibe.
See, summer is my favourite season for pubbing.
Yeah, 100%.
I fucking love it. Because like, you can go outside and, I don't know, it just feels a lot more chill.
Yeah, more room as well, because if you're out in the beer garden, not everyone's stuck inside and it's less busy.
Exactly. That's very true.
Lovely. Do you remember, and I always preface this, your first legal drink? Because for some people it's quite a big thing, or like they kind of like make it into like a little, I don't know, like ritual. Like for me, it was on my 18th birthday. I went with my dad, and I'd always said that I want to buy my dad a drink and go for a drink with my dad. I don't know, like, did you have any connection to it, or was it just, I'm just going to get absolutely pissed?
So my first legal drink was not on my 18th birthday, because on my 18th birthday I was revising because I had an exam the next day.
Oh no.
Really shit, yeah. So then a few days after, I had my 18th at like a local, like, we have like a pub down the road that has this little room that you can like hire for free.
Oh, sick.
So basically just like had a little like mini party with some mates. And that was where I had my first legal drink. And then the next week was when I first like went out.
Yeah.
So that was like, I don't know, I like associate both those things because like you have your first legal drink like in a pub, but then we went to a pub to like for
Going out
for my first time, so like I kind of associate that as well.
The first time I went to a club is one of the best 3 times I've ever been to a club. It still holds up, I think. Yeah, it was so, because it's a shit club. It is absolutely shite, and we go back and we go, why are we even here? It's awful. You know, like all the songs are mixes, so it's like always 2 songs in one, and the DJ's always like, are we here for a good time? We're like, fuck off. We just want to be by ourselves.
We don't want to hear your voice.
That is my biggest pet peeve. I feel like I've been somewhere with you when the DJ just keeps going on, and it's my bit. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, they sometimes like the sound of their own voice more than the music, which is an issue because we're there for the music.
I was in Pop World of all places, and the DJ, like, there were 2 people getting off in the middle, and the DJ was like, "Look at these 2 getting off." And it was just like, a bit pervy, mate. You know.
Yeah, like
yeah, just
commenting that. That's weird.
Just play your
But
music.
Also, Popworld's a bit like that.
Yeah, it is.
Fine. I actually have never been to Popworld in Birmingham, but only because there's a Popworld in Guildford, which I've been to, and it's like that. It's basically what you described. So.
I'll tell you what. When we walked into that pop world, when we were like going by the thing to get let in, paying, a guy who literally walked out and vomited literally as he was coming out. It was horrific, and I was like, "This is the type of night we're gonna have."
Yeah, that is a physical manifestation of a night at Pop World.
Yeah, literally repulsed.
I was warning you before you went in. I was like, stay away.
100%. Lovely, Pete. That was a good one. Oh God, as if you had to revise on your birthday. Oh, that's bad. That's not nice.
It was shy, mate. But like, my parents did like make a nice like thing of it, to be fair, and had a little break and some presents, whatever. But it wasn't what I wanted to be doing.
No.
But luckily, that was like my I think it was like my second last one, but I had like another one in quick succession, so it wasn't that long until I had a party.
Yeah, and to be fair, after was it A-levels? Yeah, A-levels. After that, absolute best summer of your life. Or it can be.
Really.
Apart from this summer, am I right? Yeah.
This summer sucks.
It really does suck a load of shit. That's not a phrase.
It's not, but it definitely sums it up.
Yeah. Peter Brennan, what is the single nicest drink you've ever had? And what I mean by this is like, it's not like the flavour of the drink, it's more about the context. So for me, you're right.
Sorry, I'm just sinking in my chair.
So for me, it would be like when I went to Budapest, we walked for like, we were going to do a beer bike. It's a really cool thing where you just drink loads of beer and pedal around a little quarry.
My brother's done that.
It's really fun, although it got banned in Budapest a week before we did it. So instead of going around the city and seeing all the sights, we literally went round like a shitty field by the side of a canal.
Oh yeah, that is a bit shy.
It was still sick because we played our own music and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Quite good experience.
but yeah, there, because we've been walking for so long and it was such a hot day, the nicest single drink I've ever had was the first pint on the beer bike, because it was just so refreshing. So I mean like that, so is there any one drink that really stands out for you? Maybe not.
Probably not. I'm such a shit person to be on this podcast. I mean, I can't really think particularly.
Yeah. Of any in particular drink in general?
I mean, not alcoholic. I'm sure I've had many instances where I'm like dead thirsty as well from like running outside and coming back in. Alcoholic.
No, I'll tell you what.
No.
We'll take
Shit.
Peter's first gulp of water after that really long run he did.
That's my answer.
It's completely locked in. Right, let's actually just.
Throwing random questions at me.
I know.
They know what I'm doing.
Let's just get onto the fucking podcast, Alex. Stop being a bastard. And let's actually kick off. Hello, Peter, and welcome to your pub. I'm very excited to find out all about it. But first things first, to make sure this pub keeps running and it keeps going, you need a bit of money. And the only way you're going to get that money is by pitching to this person. And this person is...
Michelle Obama.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Michelle Obama. Why, if you don't mind me asking?
Mainly because I really want to meet her because I love her so much. And also I feel like she's a very positive person and she would give me very good constructive feedback.
Yeah, she really would. And also, I reckon she loves a good pub. Put her down the pub.
She secretly loves a little drink.
Yeah.
I think she definitely loves a bit of a party, and that's what my pub's going to bring her.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, go on, Michelle. Right, I love it. Let's start off. Michelle is outside your lovely little pub, which is quite chill. It's not a busy pub. We don't like a busy pub. And she looks up, and above the door is the name of the pub. Very important. A name of pub really defines the pub itself. Peter, what is the name of your pub?
Peter's Pub. We love alliteration. We love simplicity. It's really just going to draw in the crowds.
It really is. You going down to Pete's? Like, yeah, I'm going to go a pint at Pete's. Pint at Pete's. Alliteration again.
Ah, yes. Have a pint at Pete's. Maybe it should be Pete's Pub, because I feel like Pete is more of like a pub name than Peter.
To be fair, though, it can be Peter's Pub, but then everyone calls it Pete's. Because you never have the same name, do you? You always have a shortened version.
You have to have a nickname, don't you? Yeah.
Although, if it was called Pete's Pub, they'd have to call it, like, Peas. And it wouldn't work, because they've got to shorten it again. So I think keep it at Peter's, and then they can call it Pete's Pub.
That's genius, Alex.
Well, I'm into marketing. No, I'm not. but I should be. Lovely stuff, Peter. Right, Michelle's straight in there. And she's like, you know what? I fancy a decent pint, you know. I'm a pint woman. I'm going to go in and get a pint. She walks up to the bar, and in front of her are 4 drinks on draft. 2 of them are beers, 2 of them are ciders. Peter, what have you got to offer Michelle Obama?
Well, I'll be honest, Michelle. I'm not a big beer drinker. And I couldn't imagine her being a big beer drinker either. But I'll give her the options anyway.
Yeah.
We have Heineken.
Yeah.
Because my brother used to work for Heineken. and Guinness, because I'm half Irish.
Hey, love it.
We're going to be both on draft. And then for my cider, we're going for Strongbow because it's a classique.
Absolute start fruit, yeah?
Wow. I'm going to have 1 dark fruit, 1 OG.
OG. Oh, is there actually just...
I'm adding loads of taps. I'm going to actually breaking the rules. And we're also going to have Copperberg to take us back to the sweet Year 10 party days.
Oh, they were the best days.
We love a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Michelle absolutely had a whale of a time at her Year 10 party days. She loved a good recording. And I think that's
honestly the peak of her life. That's what she was starting.
That's what she's going to go for, I think. She's definitely going to go for a nice fruity recording. I think that's the way she wants to go. What did your brother do for Heineken? Was he like a brewer?
Marketing, no, he was in like marketing.
Marketing.
Stuff.
You see, he'd know about Pete's Pub and all that. He'd be able to sell it for you well good.
Yeah. He knows a lot about Heineken. I get him on board to give him advice.
Do you know what's one of the worst things I've ever had to do in a pub? And it's to do with a football, what they're called, initiation. Awful, hate the stuff.
Whoa.
I had to down a pint of Guinness, which is horribly heavy.
See, I hate Guinness. I didn't know I put it in the pub, but yeah, like, I can imagine downing it. That's all.
To be fair, what I like with what you've done there, you've gone for a bitter. I think Guinness is bitter, isn't it? Or like a.
Yeah.
And you've also gone for Heineken. So inadvertently, you've got a lager and a bitter. Heineken.
Oh my god, I'm genius.
Cheap as chips and absolutely lovely. And Guinness really popular. So once again, from a marketing perspective, and we're always going from a marketing perspective, you know, Michelle wants to make some money off this bad boy. You've got good options there. And then
I want to smashed it.
No.
Now I've won.
There's a long way to go yet, Pete. And also ciders, you can't get more simplistic and popular than Strongbone Recorder League. So once again, absolute smashing options.
I feel like Strongbone you just have to have, don't you?
Yeah, there's no choice in the matter. Brax turned up, took his time, and he's called over to the bar. He's loving his retirement, honestly. He's got some sandals on. He's got sandals, some sunglasses, a little one of them old man fishing hats. He's just loving life. And he calls over and he asks for a wine, and he doesn't specify, you know, he really doesn't mind. And so Michelle's at the bar and she goes, "Well, Peter from Peter's Pub, what wines do you have on offer?" And secretly and unfortunately, you've run out of all your wines apart from your main red and your main white. So you only got 2 options to give her. What have you gone for?
I would also like to add that my pub's going to have wine on tap as well.
Oh, damn. Okay, let's do it.
Just because. So for white, we're going to have Pinot Grigio because it's an absolute classic. And a crowd pleaser. Red wine, I must admit, I don't know much about. I don't drink it very often. So we're going to have mulled wine all year round.
Yes!
Because we like being festive in summer.
You know, no one's gone for mulled wine, so you're very unique in your choice. And, like, imagine if no pubs offered mulled wine. Then where would we be, Peter? Where would we be? We'd be on shitty Baileys, that's where we'd be.
Well, we would be, mate. We would be.
You know, Baileys is the most popular type of alcohol in the UK.
Is it?
But I was completely shocked. I was doing one of many quizzes that you do during lockdown. And, Baileys is the most popular drink, like the most sold drink in the UK.
That's crazy, because, like, I know, like, loads of people like it, but I wouldn't think it was, like, the number one.
The other was Smirnoff. So Smirnoff vodka, but they were very close.
Yeah.
So they were very close. I think...
Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I get Smirnoff, but Bailey... I've never had Baileys in my life. But I know people like it at Christmas time, didn't they?
Yeah, they probably get a lot of trade at Christmas.
When I first started on a bar, we sold Pinot Grigio. And it was my first day... I think it was my second drink I sold. And they went, what whites have you got? And I said, Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Grigio. And they thought I looked like an... Like, if you ever want to look like an amateur, pronounce Pinot. That's a tip going forward, guys.
I think most people probably know that, Alex. I'm sorry, mate.
just me, I guess. So
you're not a big wine drinker, though, so it's fair.
No, communion wine all the way, if I have to. It's also watered down, so you really can't go wrong, can you? I hate wine. I really do. Apart from that time, I've had wine twice, and I've actually had very fun evenings off a bottle of wine. I think a bottle of wine's the right level you need. Personally, I'm quite a lightweight.
Innit?
Yeah, get your foot, and you have a great night. Apart from the morning, you feel pretty shitty.
Yeah, I guess such bad hangovers.
Yeah.
But do it anyway. Well,
you're only young once. That's what they say, isn't it?
They do say that.
Yeah. No, it's YOLO. Shit, never mind. Now, Barack, he's been sitting too long and he's getting restless. You know, he had a very stressy job. So he's come to the bar as well. And he's gone, actually, Michelle, I don't want a red or a white. What spirits do they have? And then he sits back down. So Michelle is now asking you, what spirit do you have? Yeah, and for some reason, there's a new law in England prohibiting the sale of more than 3 different types of spirits. So you're stuck to 3, I'm afraid, Peter. So what are you gone for?
Wow. I'm so sorry to sneeze. So I thought I'd just go for what I consider the holy trinity of spirits, which is gin, rum and vodka.
Yeah, that's a classic.
I just think you can't really beat them.
No.
Yeah. They're kind of like 3 staples, but they also each offer a bit of their own, flair.
Rum is a staple, but it's got a bit of it. It's like the fun uncle at the party is rum.
Yeah. I threw it in because it's quite different to gin and vodka.
Would you go for like them fancy brands, or would you just go for like Gordon's, Smirnoff, and I don't know, Captain Morgan?
See, I'm a basic bitch, so I think I just go basic and save the money on the fancy share.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm not an alcohol connoisseur, but I often really can't taste the difference.
No.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're having something which lots of other shit is thrown into it, which you obviously would with a spirit who's drinking that straight in the pub. I feel like just get the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Just the job.
Also, 2 things. Firstly, I'm not an alcohol connoisseur either. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with this podcast.
That's what makes it funny.
Yeah, true. I've no idea what I'm doing.
We were here like, oh yes, the taste of Peter Grigio is too I'd be like, oh, man.
I much prefer the dry Pinot Grigio to the Sauvignon Blanc. And my second thing was you can always put the shit stuff in fancy bottles, because you're right, no one can taste the difference. And even them wanky guys who are like, could I get the I can't even think of a posh vodka. That's how shit I am. The top range vodka. You just give them some of that, and they'll go, yes, it's a classic. You should try this, Marcus.
Yeah.
And they'd absolutely love it.
It's all a show.
Yeah.
So if you just put it in a fancy bottle, they won't know any better.
Exactly. Now, Michelle is about to get herself that recorder leg, but then she notices a glimmer in the corner, like on the wall at the side. She looks over, and there's a poster, like a really sparkly poster, and in the middle of this poster is Peter's Pub's signature cocktail. And she's looking at that and she's like, what is this feisty little number? And you've just got to tell her.
So, it's called Blowjob on a Boat.
BJ on a boat.
It's Sex on the Beach, but it's Blowjob on a Boat.
Bit further out at sea.
What?
A bit further out at sea, you know. You have sex on the beach, then you go and have a blowjob on a boat.
Yeah, it's good than the Sex on the Beach. And it's got apple schnapps, cranberry juice, and vodka.
Oh, nice.
Because I wanted it to, like, not be too different from Sex on the Beach, but also have its same flair as a blowjob on a boat would.
Yes, as it would. It's a whole different experience, really. I feel like
It really is.
at the start of a night, of a cocktail night, you go and you have a sex on the beach, and by about 11 o'clock, you're like, get me that blowjob on a boat.
Yeah. By that point, you're a bit of a skank.
Yeah.
And you've lost all your dignity, so you're ready to have a blowjob on a boat.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, absolutely. That's a very good name as well. I like blowjob on a boat.
Again, I'm going for the alliteration.
Yeah, well, Peter's Pub is all about alliteration. I think Michelle will go for the blowjob on a boat because it sounds really fruity and lovely. She also gets one for Barack, and they both sit down and have a nice time. And then a bit of time passes. You know, you're serving some of your other punters. It's a bit slow because obviously you're not very well settled yet, and that's why you need the money, you know, to really boost your promotion and things.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Michelle calls you over. And you sit down across from her and she goes, look, I'm having a lovely time. Don't get me wrong, you started very well. You've got lots of good options on draft, including wines on tap. I love that. Also, you know, blowjob on a boat. What a funky, cool and quirky way to kick things off of our evening. And she goes, look, the only problem is I'm sat here and I'm confused. You know, what's the vibe? What's the atmosphere? How am I supposed to know without knowing the bar, the barman, the landlord? So, Peter Brennan of Peter's Pub, what is your best pub experience? Because I need to know that to know what vibe you're trying to create or the atmosphere you want. Because at the end of the day, you're going to try and recreate your best pub experience into every day here at Peter's Pub. So please let me know what I'm investing in.
Right. Well, my best pub experience, I would say, was in first year. And it was in a Wetherspoons on Bristol Road. And me and my housemates Victoria and Mary, who I adore dearly, we were like, we're going to have like a nice night at Wetherspoons. We're going to go out, but we're going to get, you know, trash at Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
And we refer to this night as pitchers and puddings.
Like it? Alliteration?
Was basically, we just had loads of pitchers of cocktails and then ordered loads of puddings. And then we, like, got absolutely shit-faced and played just a bit of, you know, Truth or Dare, Would You Rather.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
No crap. Why did I say that bit last? Basically, it was fun because we were eating desserts and drinking pitchers. And I must admit, it was quite an expensive night. But we just decided we need to have a bit of a blowout.
You do every now and then. It's like my first pub day after this. I'm leaving the house at 10 in the morning. I'm not coming back till past 1. I'm genuinely. Me and my sister's boyfriend are gonna walk from my house. We're gonna get breakfast at a pub and get a pint, and that's the bar we're setting. And then the rest of the day is gone.
I'm jealous. I want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be next summer, but that's what I'm doing. Lovely stuff. I'll tell you what. As Michelle Obama would, I'm going to critique it. So, pictures. Perfect answer. Who wants a fucking pint? Who wants a little glass of wine? No, you want pictures. You want a jug of alcohol is the only way you should be drinking alcohol. So exceptional. Number 2, puddings. Yes. Who goes out wanting to have like a fancy night where you take loads of pictures and have shitty conversations? No, you want to gorge on some lovely food while drinking.
I want to shove a brownie down my gob.
Yes. I mean, that was a sublime answer, and Michelle is a big fan. I'm not going to lie to you.
And also alliteration again, pictures and pudding.
Literally,
On a mad one.
there's a theme here. And I think Michelle's starting to clock on. This is absolute Michelle madness if I'm gonna join onto the alliteration track. Now you leave. Yeah, you piss off. And you go to 10 bar as you would. And now, a little known fact about the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, as well as being a Democrat, he's also a horrific lightweight. He gets down 2 blowjobs in a boat, and he's absolutely pissed. And then Michelle's like, Barack, you've got a radio thing in the morning. You can't be this pissed. And he goes, well, it's your fault. You brought me to this great pub. And she goes, fine, get yourself some food to sober up. So he pulls out the food menu, and what is on that menu but 3 different food dishes. Now, there's something I need to tell you here, Peter.
Yes.
Michelle Obama has run many amazing charity campaigns in her time, including one which was it was a nice idea, but it didn't work out. And it was basically a charity that was saving money to build a time machine so they could go back and kill all the nasty people of the past. And what happened was it failed a little bit because there wasn't the funding and things. But unfortunately, Michelle ended up with a time machine that she didn't really have much use for. And because the space continued, she couldn't go out back and kill all these horrible people. But what she can do is she can make sure that on your 3 set meals, you can have meals from any time in your life. So, for instance, if there was a very specific meal you had when you were 7 years old, say you had a lovely pub fish and chips when you were 7, she can go back and get that on your menu. So, what I'm trying to say, through all that absolute bullshit, is that you can have any meals from any time that you want. So, Peter, what are your 3 set meals?
Well, mine aren't really from my past. They're just... they're things I've eaten that I've enjoyed. So
Exactly.
Actually, fuck it. My first one is macaroni cheese. I'm thinking I've once had a Tesco Finest ready meal.
Yeah.
And it was macaroni cheese with this lovely breadcrumb on top. And I'm getting emotional thinking about it. This is so bad. And I think I would choose that because it's lovely, it's warm, it's from the heart, and it's delicious. Number 2, this is something I've really been getting into in quarantine.
Oh, yeah?
It's a Linda McCartney veggie burger.
Oh, yes. We love Linda. She does some stellar options.
Yeah, mate. With some pub chips.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think in a pub you have to have pub chips.
Yeah, you do.
But pub chips are just, chunky, salty, delicious. Now, this one's definitely from my past. At Pizza Hut,
Yes.
they have, I assume they still have it, but when I was younger, they had Ice Cream Factory, where they had this little, table with, the thing, and you would pour your own ice cream, and then you put all these toppings on. Well, I want that at my pub.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
To travel back in time, get an old school Ice Cream Factory machine, shove it in time travel vehicle, and bring it back to the present day. I'm sure they still have it, but I'm thinking old school toppings.
I know exactly what you mean. They were sublime. And the thing was, I never knew there was such a thing as too much ice cream until I went to Pizza Hut. Because I thought it didn't fill you up. And then I went and I just got this mountain of it. And then there was some lovely chocolate sauce, Smarties. Oh, it was heaven in a bowl, wasn't it? It was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, because you don't realise, because it's unlimited, you're like, well, I'm going to get, rather than get 3 bowls, say, and see if you can handle it, I'm going to get 3 bowls in 1 bowl.
Yeah, and then your mum goes, you finished that because you got it. You greasy, greedy guzzle guts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be perfect at a pub.
I think they're stellar options then. And I think Barack... What do you think? I'm thinking Linda McCartney. I think he'll go for the Linda McCartney veggie burger.
I think the vegetarian mozzarella burgers would go down a treat for Barack Obama.
Yeah. And then maybe... I think he'd also go for the Ice Cream Factory as well. I think he'd go for both.
Well, I mean, he's got the money, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So you might as well.
Go on, you're retired. You have a great time, my son.
Come on, mate. Have a dessert.
So the evening continues. They absolutely love Barack enjoyed his food. Michelle's saving herself for a little bit later. And they continue, and suddenly, the music's been playing in the background, and the song comes on, and Michelle goes, "Oh my God, what a fantastic song!" She calls you over again, and she goes, "What is this song?" Now, little does she know that you've just got yourself a brand new jukebox, and onto that jukebox, you've put on your first album, but not accidentally. You picked the album so well that you're not even going to put any other albums on there, because this is the perfect album for Peter's Pub. I want to know two things, Peter. I want to know what that album is, and what song is playing that Michelle loves.
Okay. The album is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, because I think it's a real crowd favourite.
It is.
I think it's quite intergenerational as well, and that a lot of people our age love it, but then of course it was released in a time where older people know it as well.
Yeah.
So I choose that album, and she loves The Chain.
Yeah, she does. She does. It's those classic chords, and she's like, "Oh, hello, this is mine."
She kind of whips her hair back and forth a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, that was a good job. Yeah. Also, absolutely stellar album. You can't really go wrong with it, can you? If you
It's a classic, isn't it?
with a pub as well, you just want to please everyone, and it's one of the greatest albums of all time. So at the end of the day, you can't go wrong with it at all.
Because I was I could pick something that I would really enjoy. But then also, Peter's Pub, despite the title, is not for Peter.
No, it's not.
For his customers. And therefore, we will try and please as many people as possible.
It's from Peter to the people, which is also a little bit more alliteration, because who gives a fuck?
That is brilliant.
I'm not gonna lie, Peter. I may even give this podcast under the title. I might put "The People Make the Pub," because I think that is a fantastic little phrase you came up with.
I didn't even plan that. I literally came up with that on the spot. I didn't really know how or why that happened.
And you say you can't improv around questions, but you come up with that absolute worldy answer.
I know. I'm such a mess.
They're having a really nice night. They really are. And Michelle decides, "Oh God, I'm having a great time, but I fancy doing something. I fancy getting up, doing a little something." So she shouts you over and she goes, "Pete, what game / or activity have you got?" She says exactly that. And you answer with, obviously,
a pool table.
Yes! Obviously a pool table.
I just think it's so fun.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be good. In fact, it's probably more fun if you're not good. I'd hate playing against someone who was actually, a professional.
Yeah.
And I think Michelle would love it.
Especially with her and Brad, I think, I bet they have a pool table at home.
I also, I think they'll definitely have a pool table at home, and I think they like a little bit of healthy competition between them as well.
Yeah, I think they're quite competitive people.
Yeah, I feel like they quite enjoy it.
That is a lovely answer. I'm not going to lie, Pete. You're looking over every now and then, and they're laughing, they're smiling, they're having a bit of friendly competition, and you're thinking, "I've got this in the bag." But then they're sat in the booth and they call you over again, and your heart drops into your stomach. You're okay, and you walk over and you sit down, and Michelle, she's giving you kind of an eye and stare, she's not giving much away now. She goes, "Hello, Peter." You go, "Michelle Obama," and
why is this a Michelle Obama fan fiction? I love it.
I've been waiting for someone to pick Michelle Obama so I can live out my lifelong dream.
This is brilliant.
And she stares at you and she goes, "Peter, I'm afraid you and your pub, you're just too good to be true. And don't take that as a compliment. I mean this seriously. Now, everything's going so well that it's bullshit, isn't it? I mean, there's no way that this can work this well. So I need something from you, Peter. I need you to defame your character. I need you to destroy your integrity by telling me an embarrassing story about yourself." related to the pub. Because if you come off as too perfect, I'm afraid we can't give you the money because we don't know what secrets you're hiding. So we need a bit of trust, Peter. We need a bit of trust. So Peter Brennan, what is your embarrassing pub story?
Well, first, I can't believe I'm telling this to Michelle Obama of all people in the world. Secondly, I'll tell it now. Do you know what my second was? Okay, so this is also at a Wetherspoons, because I feel like I'm always at a Wetherspoons. This is in Guildford, which is my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to Spoons and had got a little bit too bevved. And at our Wetherspoons in Guildford, they have this weird, like, dance floor. And I don't know if this is, like, anywhere else in the UK. They basically, because it's, like, got a few floors, our Wetherspoons. And they have, like, dance floor, which I call the dance pit because it's, like, really, like, gross and dirty and, like, like, weird, like, smoke machine. And bear in mind, it is still a pub.
Yeah.
And, like, there isn't really much to this story, but I end up, like, absolutely, like, necking it on with this random stranger, like, in the middle of Wetherspoons.
Oh, no.
Like, fine, like, I just feel like it's allowed in a club.
Yeah.
But then when I think back to it, I'm like, everyone was just like, why they see each other's faces, like, we're literally in a pub.
Literally, I can imagine, like, some old, like, 40-year-old just having a drink and then looking over the side and there's someone just getting off in the middle of the room.
Yeah, and it's so funny. I don't fucking care talking about it because it's so funny. He was like putting his like hands down my trousers and grabbing my thumb. And like when we were like, you know, out, like I wasn't thinking about how weird it was that I was in Wetherspoons, and then he starts like literally puts his hand down. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this to Michelle Obama. He puts his hand down and starts like squeezing my bum and shit, and I'm just like, we in Wetherspoons.
Yeah.
So,
I like the idea that it happened when the smoke machine was going off, and then the smoke just dissipates, and everyone's just there like,
what's going on? Because it's such a little crappy dance floor, and it's really like, it's so tiny, and like people just like have a few drinks, have a little boogie. It's not like it's not a rave or like anything of that sort, and it's just so inappropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, parents.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good one. That is a good one because I think it's a good story. Firstly, it's funny, but it is also embarrassing. See, you tick all three. You walk if it was a Graham Norton's red chair.
It's not like I fell over or anything. I just look like an absolute whore. But that's okay.
That's fine. They're all just shaming you anyway, so piss on them, the stupid punters. Lovely stuff.
They have a point. It was a bit weird. Like anyone who was judging us, like, fair enough.
Lovely. Michelle's pretty happy with that. She's like, okay, thank God. So he's not perfect. It's fine. When we're leaving later on, and he's just making out with someone in the middle of Peter's pub, it's fine because we know that's Peter. And once again, you go away and you think, okay, got to do that test. Now it gets another hour later. Getting to the end of your shift now. It's nearing 12. And Michelle and Barack, they seem to be still having a great time. And then Michelle has to nip out for a call. You know, she's a very busy and very successful woman. Fair play. She goes outside. She takes the call outside. She doesn't want to ruin the vibe. She finishes the call. She puts it down. And she tries to go back in. And, she sees Peter's pub over the door. But then she notices a blackboard. And on that blackboard is, a classic pub blackboard message. But if this message is rubbish, she'll be like, I've really misunderstood this whole thing. I'm gonna call Barack from out here and we're gonna leave. That's how much she cares about the blackboards outside the pubs. So, it better be a bloody good blackboard message, Peter. So what is it?
It's actually a quote from Michelle Obama herself.
I mean...
Now, Michelle Obama is known for her motivational messages.
Yeah.
And my favourite meme of Michelle Obama is when she's speaking directly to the camera and she says, and this is going to be the quote on the blackboard, and I hope people listening get this reference, otherwise I look really weird. Okay. I'm going to say it from memory as well.
Go on.
So I want to... Hey Queen, girl, you have done it again. Constantly raising the bar for all of us, and doing it flawlessly. I'd say I'm surprised, but I know who you are. I've seen it up close and personal. You make me proud. I forgot it.
No, you got it.
You make me proud, and I love you.
Oh.
And this might seem wanky and weird, but I wanted Michelle Obama to see that I really cared about her and how motivational she is. And also, I feel like anyone who walks past would just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'd get her to sign it.
Oh,
It's a bit
superb.
more, you know. And also, that's creating good vibes before you walk into the pub. And everyone walking in is going, you know what, I'm that bitch.
Yeah.
I'm that bitch because Michelle Obama just told me.
3 things on that. Firstly, it's a lovely quote. It really is. It's positive, and I agree. People go, you know what? I'm going to go for a pint in there. I'm going to have a nice natter. I'm going to feel good about myself. I'm going to feel positive about myself. That's number 1, Peter. Number 2, must be a pretty big fucking blackboard. That was a big old quote.
Yeah, it was big, wasn't it? I might just have to write quite small.
Yeah, just write it really small. Or just a couple of blackboards, like one next to the other, like 3 in a row, and then just write it across. And number 3, if you want to impress Michelle Obama, of course she'll love a bloody quote of her own on the wall, because it does show how much you appreciate her.
Yeah.
It's absolutely lovely. She writes a little signature on, she goes back in. But you don't know. Sorry?
On reflection, now that I came up with that quote that people make the pub, I feel like that would probably go quite well on the blackboard.
Yeah, tell you what, on the other side, I think you've got that one, because that is genuinely sublime. Peter, this is lovely stuff. Now, what's going to happen now is she comes back in, you don't know she loves a blackboard, and you're still, wiping down the surfaces. And she goes, Peter, you're like, okay, this is it. And you put down your cloth, and you walk over to the thing, and you sit across from her. Barack's pissed in the corner, classic Barack. And she turns to you, and she gives you that Iron Maiden stare, and she goes, Peter Brennan, congratulations, you have my endorsement, you have my money, you have successfully pitched your pub, you've done a brilliant job, you have a brilliant choice of drinks, you have a lovely menu, lovely blackboard message, you're very good at improvising on the spot, we bloody love it, lovely choice of album, everything together, you've got a pool table, you've defamed yourself, you've shown us your best experience, you've done everything that I need to know that this is the thing I want to invest in. Congratulations, Peter. And not only have you done so well that I'm going to give you all my money, not all of it, I'll keep some for me and Barack, retirement plans and that, and future projects, but I'm going to give you a signing on bonus. But this isn't any old signing on bonus. As you may have heard, I have the availability of a time machine, and I'm going to let you use this time machine, and I'm going to let you use my know-how and my sway in the world to have a drink with 5 people, dead or alive, celebrity or not, friend or foe, anyone in the world, from any time. I'm going to let you have a drink with 5 of them as a signing on bonus for doing such a beautiful job. So that's it. Goodbye. Hope you work. Barack, get up now. Get a drink of water. And she's off. She's in that really cool black car with some bodyguards, and she's off to do everything that she does bloody well. She's just living her best life, and she's doing great things for the world. But she's gone now, and it's up to you to pick your 5 people who you want to have a drink with. Peter, who have you gone for?
Right. I know I always preface my answers, but I'm going to do it again. I was worried about picking people from the past, because if I only have the time space of a pint with them, I don't want to spend my time explaining how I'm in their time period.
Smart.
Or why I'm wearing weird clothes that they don't understand or shit like that.
Yeah.
So fuck the past. And I'm gonna kick it off with Timothy Chalamet.
Me.
He's one of my favourite actors, and I fancy him. I probably just need to tell him that we're going to get married one day.
Yeah. It's just important to mention it over the pint, just so he's aware, and then you can go forward.
Yeah. I've just got to let him know that I think it's like quite courteous of me to do that. And I would like to talk about acting to him because I'm very interested. Number 2, rightly so, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
To make up for the fact that I was supposed to see him in concert last month, it was fucking cancelled. Love him. Think he's gorgeous. Love his style. I'd ask him fashion tips, actually. I think Harry Styles is a very stylish man.
That's an underrated thing about Harry Styles.
Excuse me. He's a very stylish man.
Stylism, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about my dogs. They're just barking away. That's lovely. Carry on.
Okay. I would also pick Beyonce.
Absolutely living legend.
Has such a interesting career, and she's very come into her own politically lately in terms of her music, which I love. And I just ask her about her life. Do you know what I mean? And I get a bit of goss as well. I think
she knows everything. She must do.
I get a bit of goss about her private life.
Yeah.
Which I would keep to myself. I wouldn't share that. But it would just be fun. My next is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is a politician in America. She's a congresswoman, and she doesn't stand for Donald Trump's shit.
Yes.
And I love her for it. She's a queen, and I would just want to talk to her about politics. Basically, another thing, I wanted to get one person from different things I was interested in.
Yeah. I like that though, because it gives you different topics of conversation. Because if you get a load of actors, it can get a bit much. You know what I mean? Whereas if you get a nice balance, I think you can keep conversation flowing.
Yeah, and then I can ask specific questions to specific people. And then my last, but definitely not least, Jacqueline Wilson, author of every childhood book ever.
Do you know I met her?
Huh?
I met her.
Did you meet Jacqueline Wilson?
I was about 6 years old, I think. And, right, she wrote this book, which was you might know, you might not. It was one of her less big books, but it was about, a social network, where, they created, a Facebook type thing, but it wasn't Facebook, and it was, for friends to chat on. And it was, kind of, about cyberbullying and stuff. It was absolutely stellar. And we went to meet her, but I'd only read one of her books. Rosie and Megan, my sisters, were big fans. And so we went up to her. She was in Borders, bless Borders. Borders is no longer around, in Teesside Park. And we got to her, and I went, I'm going to talk to her mum. And I did. And I said, can you please write more books that are like the book I've completely forgotten the name of? And she, what she said? She went, you know what, I'll do my best. And then I went on. And it was a sweet little experience. Absolutely lovely woman. That's a stellar choice.
I just love her. I just found him got a new obsession with her recently. And what I also love is that she's a lesbian.
Wait, did she come out recently?
Yes, so it basically came out recently that she was a lesbian. Everyone was like, Jacqueline Wilson comes out as gay. And I was like, oh my god, amazing. I love her. And then it turns out that she's literally been out for years. And she's had this partner for 20 years and all her friends and family know. And so everyone's like, oh my god, she's come out. She's like, I've not really come out. You've just all found out.
Yeah.
You've been living this normal life this whole time. And she's just and she's so gentle and lovely.
Yeah.
About Jacqueline Wilson, I just love her.
She's genuinely a mother to thousands, if not millions, of kids who have read her books and they've got good messages to them. You know, they mean a lot.
Iconic.
Tracy Beaker is the greatest ever literary character ever created, and I will fight anyone who disagrees. That's just it.
Definitely.
Lovely. I'll tell you what, Pete. Not only is it nice, it's even better than you expected. You have the most amazing night. You talk about so many things. Timothy Chalamet is a massive flirt. We all knew it. And it's getting later and later, and everyone's just waxing lyrical about you. They're being so nice. They keep buying you drink after drink. You're having the best night of your life. Gets to about 11, you're a little bit pissed, and you go, shh, I'm getting you all a round of drinks. And they're like, yeah, can I have? And you're like, no, Don't tell me. I'm going to guess. So you go up to the bar and you realise I've made an absolute dick of myself. I completely forgot what they were drinking. I'm like, I have no idea what they're drinking. So you've got to go off guesses. So what do you think each of your 5 guests would drink?
God.
Hard one, this one. I always try and catch people out with it at the end.
Well, you're not going to catch me out. Because I'm going to triumph. Jacqueline Wilson, our queen. I think she's... I don't think she's like a wild lady.
No, I don't think so.
Likes a little gin and tonic.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's just something that, you know, little drink just gets her a little bit tipsy. And not too, like, complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So I get Jacqueline Wilson and gin and tonic. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a boss-ass bitch. I feel like she would just be drinking, like, Downing beer.
Yeah.
Purely because she, like, likes it, but also it's like a fuck you to the masculine stereotype of beer.
Yep. Love it.
She'd have a Foster's.
Yes.
Beyonce... Ooh, she'd have some fruity cocktail, I think.
A blowjob on a boat? Or another? A blowjob on a boat? Or?
Yeah, go on then. I give her a blowjob on the boat. Never thought I'd say that. Yeah, because I think she likes, you know, she's a bit spicy.
Yeah.
Fun.
To be fair, I think she's got quite an eclectic taste. She'd have in it. Like she has, I think, some proper fancy drinks.
I think, yeah, she would just go with the flow. She's chill. Harry Styles. What would I give Harry Styles? Tequila. He's getting shots of tequila.
He just drinks shots of tequila all night. That's all he drinks. He doesn't drink a proper drink.
No, because he's a rock star, so
yeah.
He can handle it. Timothy Chalamet. I would give... Ooh. Whatever I'm drinking.
Well, that was my last question. So what would you also get yourself? So what are you getting you and Timothy?
We're having... You've stumped me on the...
I love how you can think of everyone else's drink, not your own. What? You go into a pub, what do you get?
Probably a cider because it's cheap.
Yeah.
I get a strawberry dark fruit.
Yes, and so does Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, because I want us to be on the same level the whole time.
Yeah.
So that, like, I'm not being too forward, he's not flirting too much with me, because that would obviously happen. We're kind of on each other's wavelengths.
Yes, keeping the same way. Peter Brennan, not only have you firstly got through some tough questions at the start, but you have also created a fantastic pub, and even then, you've also just had the greatest night of your life with some amazing people. And all I've got to say is thank you very much for being on the podcast. I hope you very much enjoyed it.
Thank you, Alex. It's always a pleasure.
It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I've got some thank yous to do if you don't mind waiting around.
Go for it.
The first one goes out to Sam the Villainason for the graphics for this podcast.
Woo! Love you, Sam.
Shout out to Sam. Next up is Jack Pethram, who created the lovely Jolly Jingle. So thank you very much, Jack. I love it. I'm gonna make everyone else give me sound effects when I do the thank yous at the end.
It's so embarrassing. I hate myself. Right.
The third thank you is to all of the listeners out there who, let's face it, 90% are TikTok fanatics who just follow Peter wherever he goes and whatever project he takes on.
Wow!
And finally, I can't wait for the sound effect you're going to think for this one. A massive, massive thank you to you, Peter, once again, for being absolutely amazing and being a brilliant guest and letting me have an absolutely lovely time.
Boo, you whore.
And on that note, we're going to finish on... The whore. I love it. Thank you, Peter. And thank you all for listening to this episode of the Build a Pub podcast.